My name is Brian Kuhn, Mayor of Lancaster, Ohio. We are a city that takes great pride in our history, and we have a strong spirit as we invest in our present and build for our future. There are many dedicated people who make the city operate on a daily basis throughout the year. Join me now as we meet these people who help make the city what it is today. Hi, and welcome to Today in Lancaster. I'm Mayor Brian Kuhn, and with me today I have Carrie Woody. Carrie has been with the City of Lancaster for 7 years, and she's in charge of our public transit. So, Carrie, welcome today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Mayor.
Yeah. So we want to talk today about public transit and hopefully tell our listeners out there some things about transit that they didn't know. And as I mentioned, you've been here with us for 7 years. Mm-hmm. So why don't you tell us and the listeners a little bit about what transit means and how things have changed over the years for you.
Okay. So a little bit about transit. You had asked me before when transit started, and unfortunately, we don't really know the exact date that transit started in the city of Lancaster. We know that there was an old trolley, and you can still see some of the old trolley lines. And I talked to a lot of individuals that are like in their 60s and 70s that remember taking the old trolley bus when they were, 5 and 6 years old. It kind of went away for a while and then came back kind of as a taxi token service. And again, so it gets kind of cloudy with the years and kind of exactly what happened. But since I've been here, the public transit is what we consider, it's called demand response public transit, which is very typical for a rural area. And so a lot of times when people think of public transit, they think of some of those larger systems like a COTA in Columbus or something that you see in Chicago or Metro in Washington, D.C. And so ours runs a little bit differently. What we do is we try to be accessible to people because not a lot of people live together, very close together, or within walking distance to bus stops. So we provide what's called demand response, door-to-door service. And so what happens is someone will call our office and say that they want a ride, and let's say they live on the outskirts of Lancaster and they want to come in, maybe to eat or to go to the doctor. They call us, they let us know what time they want picked up, and we work that into our schedule to pick them up at their home. It's a $2 ride, and then we take them exactly where they want to go.
So it's a $2 ride no matter where they're riding from?
Anywhere in Fairfield County.
And that's demand response?
And that's demand response transportation curb to curb. And then as you know, since you've been with the city, formerly as our service safety director, we started trying to redesign our service. And so we're starting to add in some of those routes that you see with some of the larger systems because we've gotten so busy that it's hard to accommodate all of those door-to-door services. So we actually now have 3 routes that run through the city of Lancaster. And we have one that runs along Memorial Drive, hitting a lot of the retail areas, also like the Veterans Affairs there on like Kroger on Memorial Drive. So we have one that runs up and down Memorial Drive, we have one that runs on the east side of town, and then one that runs on the west side of town. And so with those, all you have to do is just go to the bus stop. We have a posted schedule online, or you can call the office to get that. You stand at the bus stop, it's a 50-cent fare instead of $2, and then you just kind of take those routes where you need to go.
So if I want to jump on, let's say, the east route, and I believe there's a bus stop near the McDonald's there on East Main.
Yes.
And so if I was working at McDonald's and I paid my 50 cents, but that's not going to take me directly to where I want to go, right?
Correct. Now, if you're within 3/4 of a mile from one of our stops, then we're allowed to deviate off and take you.
Okay.
But we're only allowed to do 1 deviation an hour. And so if you do want or request a deviation, you need to let us know beforehand. Usually the day before is good to let us know that you're wanting a deviation so that we make certain that we can accommodate that.
Okay. So I'm going back to my other example. If I get on the bus at McDonald's, where's that, if I go along for the whole ride, where's that going to take me?
So if you hop on at McDonald's, it's going to take you all the way to, it starts at Fairfield Medical Center. We're going to head out Sheridan Drive, out to the health department, hitting a lot of stops along Sheridan Drive. We come up 6th Avenue, High Street, the library. We stop at Job and Family Services in case you want to transfer to a different loop. and it's a 10-cent transfer. And then eventually you work your way back East Main Street until you eventually, an hour later, come back to McDonald's.
So it's an hour trip from the time I get on until, if I wanted to ride just for fun.
Yes, and we
And-
have people that do.
And to hit every stop, it would be an hour.
It's an hour loop, and each one of our loops is an hour. It's just a continuous hourly loop. But I have to say, I love that you brought up McDonald's. Because out of all of our stops on all of our routes, including the hospital, Kroger, the drugstores, McDonald's is our busiest stop.
Is that
Kudos
right?
to the Harpers. They're doing something right because that's the busiest stop we have, McDonald's on East Main Street.
Why do you think that is? Is it like social, or is it people getting rides to work?
I think that it's all of the above. I do know we have some people that work there that like transportation to and from, but then a lot of people like their sweet tea. I mean,
Yeah. I've got to admit, I make a run through McDonald's about every morning for my unsweet tea.
well, and I've seen you there, but I'm
Yeah.
getting sweet tea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's a little bit of both, and it's funny because we'll see people sitting inside looking for the bus and then run out at the last minute. So they're either paying customers or they're working there.
Yeah.
But that's one of our busiest stops on all of our 3 routes.
Now, Carrie, you talked about the transfer, and I was lucky enough to ride on the bus with you one day just to see what the loops were like. Talk about the transfer and what that means to the riders, like so they can go from the east side of town to somewhere else.
And so if you've never ridden before, this is completely new to you. I know a lot of people get overwhelmed, and I know, Brian, you had a hard time understanding it at first as well.
Right, I wasn't going to go for the ride unless you were there with me, so.
And I'm more than happy to do that with anyone.
Yeah.
All you have to do is call. I'm more than happy to ride with anybody. But it's basically you hop on one of our bus stops. So you can look at our schedule. It's posted online. It's on the city's website. If you don't have access to the computer, you call our office. We'll mail you a schedule. I can actually bring one to you. And so let's say you're getting on. Maybe you live off of Sheridan Drive.
Okay.
And you want to get on a bus stop. I'm going to find the closest bus stop to you, and I'll let you know what time it's going to be there. So let's say your bus is going to be there around maybe 30 minutes past the hour.
Okay.
You'll want to be at the bus stop a couple minutes early so that you're there and waiting on the bus.
If I miss it, then I got to wait an hour.
You gotta wait
till
an
it comes
hour,
back.
yes.
Okay.
And so we'll have you waiting on the bus a couple minutes beforehand. You have your 50 cents ready because you have to have exact change.
Okay.
You get on the bus, and let's say you want to go to the mall.
Okay.
So if you get on at Sheridan Drive, you're going to ride the route until it gets to Job and Family Services.
Okay.
And you're going to get off of that East Loop bus, and then you're going to look for the bus that says Memorial Express.
Okay.
And they're all 3 in line. All the drivers are very helpful if you let them know where you're going to go. And then you just get on that Memorial Express bus, and you take that until it stops at the mall.
Great. And
So
then
it's so easy
I
to
can do
use.
that on the way, the same way to go back to my
Yes.
house on Sheridan.
Yes.
Great.
And it's going to cost you $1.20 round trip.
Wow.
So 60 cents to get there, 60 cents to get back.
And Carrie, what are the hours of operations for the transit buses?
So our demand response buses, those are the ones that go to your home or go curb to curb. Those run Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., or Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Our 3 route buses don't run quite as long, but like the Memorial Express bus runs from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then the East Loop and the West Loop both run from 7 to 5, Monday through Friday.
And with summer coming up, if I'm a parent at home and I'm watching this show and want to learn more about transit, like are there programs for my kids for the summer, because I have to get them to ball practice or the pool and I'm at work, or I'm in Columbus for an appointment? Like, what do I do? Who can I
Spoken
call?
like a true parent.
Yeah.
And so actually each summer we do try and run specials. And so this
Okay.
summer, between June and August, so June, July, and August, any child that wants to ride one of our 3 loop buses, so the Memorial Express, the East Loop, or the West Loop, can ride for free. They don't have to have any fare at all. They just go to the closest bus stop, get on, get off as they please. So there's no cost for children from June through August. And so they can go to the library, they can get to either one of the pools, either Miller Pool, Tiki Pool, they can get to the mall, they can go to the movies. I mean,
Wow,
they
that
can
sounds
pretty much
great.
do anything they want to do. And I know the library has all kinds of fun programming during the summer, and that's a really busy stop for us as well.
And speaking of the summer, it make me think of the Lancaster Festival. And I know the library has a lot of festival activities.
Yes.
Downtown has a lot of activities. Rising Park has some. I don't know if any loops go there in that direction, but If you're a parent working and can't take the kids there, it sounds nice
Yes.
that they have a lot of options. And as a parent, I'd hope that they would go with a brother, sister, or a friend, so they're not riding alone.
Right.
Because I'm assuming that the bus drivers, if there's a child there under 18 or 16, whatever, he or she's going to assume the parents know and it's okay.
Correct. Yes, the drivers, it's not their responsibility to make sure that the children have checked with their parents first.
Right.
And children do get on and off our buses all the time. And so it's not unusual for children to ride our buses anytime. And like you said, they go to sporting practices or games or after school activities.
Mm-hmm.
They go to piano practice. They ride for many reasons. And if you think about the way our county is and the city in general, we have a lot of individuals that live here and work in Columbus, and they do commute back and forth.
Right.
Which is why we started our program. About 5 years ago, we started this program where children in the summer ride for free. I mean, our city has a lot to offer for kids during the summer. There are so many programs. You think about the free lunch programs that are offered like through the Y and the West After School Center. I mean, there are like 3 or 4 free lunch sites. So kids can ride our buses and go to a free lunch site, get a free lunch, go to the library for some programming, or go to the pools. I mean, we have a lot to offer.
Yeah, and for those parents out there that might be watching, it would be worth to go online to check out the routes, or to call you or stop in
Yes.
and pick up a brochure. I know City Hall has brochures available, but you could practically map out a whole week for your children for free events, and they get a ride for free, right?
Absolutely. And I know like the library with their summer reading program, typically you get like after you read so many books, you get like a free something from
Right,
Sonic
yep.
or Cane's or whoever their sponsor is of the year. And our loop buses will go there too, so they could always go get their free treat when they're done.
Wow. Hey, I'm going to go back to the demand response real quick for the people watching. Say I have a doctor's appointment in a couple of days. Like, when should I call to arrange that ride?
So you can call us a day before. We recommend that you call up to 2 weeks in advance. The sooner you know and the sooner you call us, the easier it is for us to schedule it in and accommodate more for you versus you scheduling around other people. So the way it's set up, it's a federal program. We receive federal funds. And because of that, we're not allowed to prioritize our trips. It's all first come, first serve.
Okay.
So if Miss Sally calls to get her nails done before you call to go to your doctor's appointment, well, Sally gets her trip first to get her nails done, and then you're going to be scheduling around her nails.
Okay.
And I know it sounds silly, but that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
So again, the sooner you know about your appointments or your trips that you're wanting to take, we ask that you call us. And again, you can call at least 2 weeks in advance, and that way we get it into our schedule, and it's easier for us to accommodate those times for you.
And that phone number, what's the number that people should call?
And so if you want to call our office directly, it's 740-681-5086, or you can always call City Hall, or if you want to go on the city's website, it'll direct you to either our phone number, or you can make online reservations through our city's website to request trips. And a lot of people like that, especially if they're hearing impaired, or maybe, they have other type of disabilities where they're not comfortable talking to us over the phone. It's really comforting and easy for them to do online reservations, and then we send an email response back.
Great. Well, Carrie, we're just about out of time, so I'd like to thank you for coming on the show, and I'd love to have you come back again and tell the public a little bit more about public transit, maybe some of the funding sources, some of the expenses, just a little more detail. But this has been great, and hopefully the people that are out there watching this show have learned something about public transit that they didn't know before. So thanks again for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And until next time, everybody have a great day and be safe. Thank you.